Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are unpacking the ultimate 12-point framework to help you figure out if your business idea will actually survive out there in the real world. We're going to break down the core components of what makes an idea not just exciting, but fundamentally sound.
Look, we've all been there, right? Everyone has a great idea. You get that light bulb moment in the shower, or maybe you sketch out a brilliant concept on a napkin at dinner. But before you go and quit your day job or drain your savings account, we need to separate those fleeting dreams from a truly viable business opportunity. It is incredibly easy to get caught up in the hype of a brand new concept, but without a rigorous reality check, well, that excitement can quickly turn into a pretty expensive illusion. To make all this easy to digest, we've organized the 12 key viability factors into 3 distinct pillars: testing your market, mastering the ground game, and financials, risks, and growth. So what exactly is the end goal here? What are we actually trying to build? Well, a viable business opportunity requires a really delicate balance. You need market demand, manageable competition, reasonable startup costs, good profit potential, available resources, acceptable risks, and room for growth. Honestly, it's like a giant puzzle. When all these elements lock together perfectly, you've got a workable opportunity. But if you miss even one piece, the whole thing kind of falls apart. Okay, let's jump right into our first pillar, testing your market. Consider this the reality check. When you're looking outward at your potential customers, you've got to run a critical 3-step check. Step 1, assess market demand. Do people actually need this thing? Take affordable school uniforms, for example. If you're in a district packed with schools, boom, that is a clear, tangible need. But demand alone isn't enough. Step 2 is customer ability to pay. A massive crowd wanting your product doesn't equal a business if they literally don't have the funds to buy it, right? And finally, step 3, market size. You need a large enough pool of potential customers to give you the essential runway for your sales and for your future growth. And that brings us to the final piece of the market check, competition. Because let's face it, you are not operating in a vacuum. You need to rigorously ask yourself, who are my competitors? What are they actually doing well? And most importantly, what can I do differently? Understanding their strengths is exactly how you carve out your own unique segment of the market. Moving right along to Section 2, mastering the ground game. This is the operational reality. Okay, so people want your product, they can actually afford it, and you figured out your edge over the competition. Fantastic. But can you actually pull it off day to day? You have to honestly test your ground game. Do you have the specific skills and experience required to run this successfully? If not, you're going to need to get training or hire someone who already knows the ropes. You also have to navigate all the red tape, checking if the business needs specific licenses, permits, or strict government compliance. It's not glamorous, but it's absolutely crucial. Now, a huge part of that ground game is where you actually set up shop. Location matters immensely. For instance, think about a fast food business. It might thrive near schools, busy offices, or main roads simply because it's driven by foot traffic and accessibility. The best product in the entire world will starve if it's placed somewhere your target market just doesn't frequent. And to truly master your daily operations, you absolutely must secure 5 physical resources: raw materials, reliable workers, equipment, the premises, and transport. These 5 things are the physical backbone of your venture. If you can't reliably source your materials or secure transport for your goods, your operations will stall out before you even ring up your first sale. Let's head into our third and final pillar: financials, risks, and growth. The bottom line and the horizon. We need to see if this business will actually survive tomorrow and thrive next year. Ultimately, profitability comes down to a direct balancing act: your expected selling price versus the hard costs of actually producing and selling the product. A truly viable business opportunity demands a reasonable profit margin, because that margin is your breathing room. This balancing act also dictates your startup capital. You have to calculate exactly how much money is needed to launch and make sure it realistically aligns with the capital you can actually raise. But hey, business is never smooth sailing, right? Every entrepreneur faces danger. And you've got to anticipate acceptable risks across 3 main categories. Financially, you might get hit with sudden price increases in your supply chain. In the market, you could see totally unexpected shifts in customer demand or aggressive new rivals popping up. And operationally, you have to plan for anything from theft to sudden changes in government policies. A viable venture doesn't just ignore these risks, it actively builds resilience against them. Finally, look at the horizon. Ask yourself, can this business actually grow? A good opportunity shouldn't trap you in a box. It needs room for expansion. whether that means penetrating entirely new markets, developing fresh products, or opening up in new locations. Growth potential is the engine that is going to sustain your motivation and your profit margins for years to come. So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. Have you rigorously tested your big idea against all 12 viability factors? Are you going to just blindly launch your idea and cross your fingers? Or will you use these 3 pillars to make sure your dream is a truly viable business opportunity? Take a hard, honest look at your concept, run the numbers, and build something that is actually designed to succeed. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep learning.